Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with another episode of Plague Inc. Evolved, the early access Windows version of the popular cell phone game. First things first, let me ask everybody to turn off any ad blockers and subscribe to my channel. Help me make a career. Today we're going to do another official scenario of unknown origin. Everyone has a favorite country. Unfortunately, you don't get to choose it here. Are you feeling lucky? Wonder if this is going to be a random country or one specific country. I think you're best off playing as the virus of these choices. Well, these are all the choices actually, so of the choices that exist. I think since we don't know what a country is, virus is probably the best we can do. Continue on casual, no reason. Let's see. Last one we did was chest bursters. So moving our way up the body, we'd be to the throat. So I'm gonna call these gob stoppers. Not gob toppers, gob stoppers. Some virus that causes swelling in your throat. Welcome to the unknown origin scenario. You are a new virus. To win, you must evolve and spread across the world, wiping out all humanity in the ultimate plague. Start country pre-selected. Your disease will infect patient 0 in a randomly selected country. So the country they've decided is Afghanistan. It is a poor country. It is an arid country. It only has land borders. Not terrible. It's not a terrible starting place. None of them are really that terrible of starting places. What was the one I thought was probably the worst? Let's see. Something with no land borders and cold. Iceland might be pretty bad, but I think Greenland's the worst, possibly. If you're just gonna go with that. Why did I even use that? That is a silly thought. But we might as well work our way down that path. Even though there are no ships or airplanes in Afghanistan, we'll eventually hit India. And insomnia is mutated, not ready for that. Let's see. 1 DNA to devolve. Yeah, I guess I'll spend it. Let's take a bit of that. And continue down the path. 17 DNA needed for the next transmission. That is one of my own personal phobias, I suppose, which I don't know if it would actually classify as a phobia, as it is feasible that something could happen. There's relatively recently, in the past year or so, I had a very bad cold. If you've been watching my channel, you will know what I'm talking about. And it certainly felt like it was getting close to the point where my swollen throat was going to close up my throat completely, and I was going to no longer be able to breathe. So that is, I think, a reasonable fear more than a phobia. If you get sick, if some kind of disease or virus attaches, swells up your throat enough, you might not be able to eat, you might not be able to breathe. And if you feel that way, you probably should immediately head to your closest emergency room. Nausea symptom has mutated. I cannot control these mutations. I must have implemented one of the modifications that increases mutations. Why? I don't know. I don't think it's gonna work to our advantage on this scenario. This is just a regular scenario with us starting in a random country. It shouldn't be terribly difficult, but it might give us some trouble. Next step will go towards lethality. I don't want to move that way. You know, I start working my way down to necrosis. Also, I probably should have spent 10 DNA for cold resistance. A little cold resistance going on there. A little bit of that. Now necrosis is ready. Let's save our DNA and hope not to mutate into necrosis or seizures or inflammation. So, chance of a mutation is kind of high. Then we're going to get into something that increases the lethality too early in the game. Saving DNA. Cysts mutated, that's fine. Russia shuts down these airports. Notice how I could get right behind that. So what I want to see is what countries are not infected. The only one that's really a problem right now is the Caribbean, and I believe not Morocco, but Madagascar. Yep. Caribbean and Madagascar are the only ones I'm really concerned about. So let's see. Let's go ahead and use that to our advantage and save the rest of the DNA. There's the Caribbean infected. Now there's Madagascar. Great. So I probably at this point have the entire world infected. Nope, still some African countries not infected, but that's alright. We'll just wait. The cure is to 5%, and that is the first time I've even looked at the cure. So it could have been at 90% for all I knew. Keeping my eye off the ball. Abscesses have mutated. We played most of this game so far on fast forward. Being just very much a traditional game, it doesn't really call for any extra skill. There we go. I'll just spin the DNA to give it some heat so it can infect some more of these countries. Hemophilia. Mutated. Let's see. Let's get that last bit of people infected before we pull out the big guns. Necrosis mutated. That's great. That saves us some DNA right there. The cure is at 30%. The first death is in Russia. What countries aren't completely infected? There are no healthy people in the world. Gobstoppers has one. So let's do this now. This one. I have 144 DNA, so let's do this one, do this one, and this one. Got it. Let's see. This one to increase lethality. Lethal dehydration, sure. Anything that says lethal in the name now gets added to the ability charts. But 35 DNA for hemorrhagic shock looks good. It would cost to devolve those. We could spend 12 DNA for some viral instability. That sounds like a good idea. Fever mutated. With everyone infected, the only hope that they have against the gobstoppers is to find a cure. And too many people are dying too fast for that to happen. 13 DNA, internal hemorrhaging mutated, 15 DNA for the third level of this. Potentially could mutate into all of these, but I think we'll kill everybody before then. Anarchy, let's see, last instability. Alright, now we're saving 35 DNA for, there we go, that gets the lethality. This would get it a little bit higher, a little bit. We can get it to the maximum. It is possible if we get every single symptom. But too many people will be dead. So this has turned into the everlasting gobstopper, as it were, because there's nothing they can do to beat us now. 27 DNA, we'll do a little genetic reshuffle just for pride. 32 DNA for the next reshuffle. Almost eliminated everybody, going really fast. Immune suppression mutated. So let's see how far. We missed out on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 symptoms. But we got those lethal ones, these 6 in the middle. And that was enough. Yep, worked pretty well. Standard game. On casual at least. Now if we were playing on Mega Brutal, would that turn around and be a win scenario we just had? Maybe, maybe not. It seems like Mega Brutal is true to its name and pretty brutal. That took us 492 days to do. The cure got to 26%. Complex virus on casual, we got 50,608 points and 2 biohazards, and we destroyed everybody. Of the scenarios, I will say unknown origin so far wasn't that unique. It was just a random area you couldn't do. I would have put it really as the first first scenario you did. I don't know why in specific you would specifically, it has us do the Black Death as the first one, even though unknown origin really isn't a great example of what some of the other scenarios do. I would have it maybe the second, just because compared to artificial organs, the frozen virus, and the Nipah virus, unknown origin is just the standard game with one little twist. So I bet some of these scenarios are going to be like that. It's going to be, some of them are going to be very, very drastically different. Some of them are going to be slightly different. But they do force you, at the very least, to try a different country. Whereas it's possible somebody would just play the same country over and over again, like I have been doing. Next episode, we will be doing the nanovirus on Brutal. Try and unlock that. And I will be doing the same old country that I always pick, because I am a stick in the mud and I am trying to win. And put some comments down below if you know a better way to win, if you see a flaw in my strategy, or if you see where I'm making mistakes, or any other comments are welcome too. Anywho, that's the end of this episode, so as always I ask you to like, share, subscribe, Comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps me out. If you want to support me through fan funding, click on my name Rydo. That'll take you to my main YouTube page. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Any amount you donate will be greatly appreciated. Larger amounts will be even more greatly appreciated. Just kidding. Uh, If you want to follow me on Twitter or Google Plus, or friend me on Steam or Battle.net, all that information's down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.